Okay, so what is that one thing that controls the entire part of our life? Is it oxygen, O2, H2O, CO2? What is it? Is it our relationships? Any idea? No? Oxygen, water, पानी ना पिए मर जाएं. Anyone? Any? She's trying to say something, right? I'm talking about time. Time is the thing that controls the entire part of our life. And time is something that is a very powerful reality given to us by God. And what is time? Another question. Anyone have any idea what is time? Is it intangible? Is it tangible? Or is it something that is invisible and still controls entire part of our life? Think about it for a moment. Everything which we do in this life circles around time. Right? मैं सही कह रहा हूँ कि जो कुछ भी हम करते हैं वो कहाँ पे रोटेट कर रहा है? It's rotating around the time. Even the money which we earn is connected to the time. Many people are paid hourly, weekly, monthly. It means that we are not paid by our abilities. We are paid for the time which we give. Means if somebody hires me today, he's basically buying a certain portion of time from me. So, what do we learn with that? Do we learn anything with this? We learn that it's a very valuable resource given to us by God. So God has given us time, it's a very valuable, and yet Bible tells us it passes really quickly. It goes like this. If we see John 4:14, what does it say? It says, what is your life? It is like a morning dew, and it stays for a moment and then it vanishes. And God kingdom is also built with this timing, right? So God have built the entire world, and everything which we do here goes according to the God's timing. If we see, there's a verse that is Ecclesiastes 3:1-8, and that says, and there is a time for everything. There is a time for everything and every season under the God's kingdom. And a time to born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to uproot, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to hear, and it goes on. So the God won't work out of His timing. So I wanted to tell you, really important for us to understand the value of time is the life of Jesus Christ. If we see the life of Jesus Christ, we will learn something very interestingly. Jesus always talked about His time, His hour. And He always talked about that His hour is coming or is not yet. So if we see another verse, if we see John chapter 2, if you guys remember, there is an event of wedding in John chapter 2, the wedding of Cana, in which Jesus' mom asked Him to help because they are out of wine. And when they are out of wine, what did Jesus reply? In the next verse, John 2, he replied what? He said, my time has not yet come. My time has not yet come. Why would Jesus say like that? That my time is not yet come? Because Jesus understood something very important, that God's miracle should happen under God's timing. Miracles should not come out of the time of God. So here we see that Jesus understood that God's timing is very important. And which He did was always under that time. And then if we see later down in His ministry, when He's entering the Jerusalem, we see that people are looking at Him as a king coming and entering the Jerusalem. But Jesus saw something else. What did Jesus saw? He saw that a king is not ending. A worldly king is not coming. He saw that his time has came. It was the time of the cross, the time of sacrifice, and the time of the redemption which he was planned for. That there was another very powerful thing happened after Jesus entered the Jerusalem. He was looking into the cross, he was looking into his sacrifice, he was looking into the work of the redemption, and he knew that the time has come, right? So when he knew that thing, when he went to the cross, a very powerful thing happened. If we see into the next verse of John, if we see what it says, John 19:30, it says, it is finished. So what is finished? The work of redemption, the sacrifice which God has planned from the start, and something which he had planned all his life. So that was the brief thing which I wanted to tell you from the beginning, the time, the value of time, and Jesus worked according to the time, and everything he did was under the planning of God and the timing, and he worked according to the time. So basically, I have another question for you. Basically, when God went to the cross and sacrificed himself, so that is a very important thing, and because we are into the Lent season, we have to understand the meaning of this sacrifice. So I just wanted to talk about this sacrifice for a minute. And I have a question, a very deep theological question for you guys to answer me. Why did Jesus sacrifice for humanity? Can anyone answer me this? Yes?
It's like the atonement for our sins.
For the sin. And that sin which was done by the humans, you're right. And the humans did that sin. But to understand that, why for only humans, not for the angels? There was, when the first sin happened in the Garden of Eden, how did it happen? Adam and Eve were there, and someone came to Eve and tried to tell her something that she didn't believe, and she believed it, and she got deceived and fall into the sin. So who was that someone? That was a serpent, right? The Satan. So means that was the first sin on the earth. But that was not the first sin. The first sin happened somewhere else. That was above the planet Earth. It was in heaven. So the first sin happened actually in heaven, where the existence of time was. Does time existed at that time in the heavens? There was no time in heaven. That's why the devil first sinned in heaven. What was the sin which the devil did? Yes, go ahead.
Rebellion.
Anyone, come on.
Rebellion.
What else?
Pride.
What else? Yeah, you're perfect, yes.
He wanted to be better than God.
Better than God. It says that he will put himself above the throne of God, and he will put his throne above the... So that was the sin of pride. That was the rebellion, and that was the first sin which he did and corrupted the heaven, and he got fallen from there. And now we have to understand what happened after that. God created. If we see Genesis 3rd chapter, it says in the beginning. So God created time at that time. That was the creation of time. Then he created land, skies, and water. And then what happened? He gave humans, us. He created Adam, and he didn't say, okay, go and live in it. He gave the dominion, the power, the authority to Adam to have everything under his control. So he had that control, and the serpent fall down from the skies. And what he did, he didn't like it, because he was where? In heaven? He was on the earth, and now he came under humans, another creation of the God, right? So when he was under the another creation of the God, which he didn't like, he came and he entered into the time on the earth and came to where he came. Can you tell me where did the Satan came as a serpent? to the Adam and Eve. Garden of Eden, and where was Garden of Eden? It was on earth. So Garden of Eden was on the earth, and Satan came to the Garden of Eden to deceive Eve, and that was the time when he came into the setup where God has set everything, like the time, day, morning, and everything was set into it, and he had to come into the time to deceive Eve, means humans. Now what happened? They lost their authority. And when they lost their authority, who gained the authority then? The serpent. Who is the serpent? The devil. Who is the devil? Lucifer. Who said that? Lucifer. So Lucifer have the authority right now. We have lost authority. Adam and Eve lost authority, and Lucifer had the authority on the heaven. Means like heaven is the skies right now, right? I'm not talking about the throne of the God. Nobody can get that authority. He is still under the authority of God. He works under it. We all work under the authority of God. But right now, the serpent is on the authority over us too. So to take that authority back from the serpent, Jesus has to come into the time zone of our living being. And then they have to do what? What Jesus, why would Jesus come in, and what he will do? He will do the sacrifice. Sacrifice of what? Himself. Yes. आप बोल दिया करेंगे हाथ में सह करें. For our sins. और sin कौन सा था? वो deception, वो चीज जो हमने खो दी थी. What we lost the presence of God. We lost the presence of God, the unity which we had in the God. लिखा है कि खुदा जो है वो शाम के वक्त क्या करता था? इंसान के साथ सुकूनत करता. He come to the Adam and Eve, and he used to talk to them. So that was lost. So Jesus had to come back in that time zone, in that thing where he created, and then he gave the sacrifice. और second part जो है इसका आज घर में जाके आप जाके सुनिएगा, वो ऊपर मिल रहा है कि खुदा ने इस मसीह ने उसके बाद वो authority ली कैसे उससे, वो 3 दिन नीचे जमीन में जाके उसने किया क्या. So now the point is this: he came, he conquered, he laid down himself for us. पहले हमने खो दिया सब कुछ, right? We lost authority, and then he came, he gained it back, and then he went up with all the prisoners which Satan has. So God, by himself, lived entire of his life according to God's time. तो अगर आज मैं आपसे कहूं कि इसका मतलब क्या है, इसके 2 मतलब हो सकते हैं. क्या हो सकता है कि our time on earth is precious, क्योंकि जीसस ने भी, आप मुझे बताएं, सबसे बड़ा लंबी एज all of हमें पता है कि ओल्ड टेस्टमेंट में बड़े बड़े लोगों की एजेस थी. तो सबसे ज्यादा एज जो थी बाइबल में किसकी थी? बोलते हैं जिसको भी याद है. मथुसला. कितनी थी? 969. सिर्फ एक बच्चे को याद है यहाँ पे, और किसी को याद नहीं. बल्कि जीसस की एज कितनी थी? 33. आज सब जीसस को जानते हैं. क्यों? Did Methuselah wasted his time 969? No. He did, but he didn't care about the time of God's been given to him. But Jesus was the perfect sacrifice. He came into, उसी जमाने में आया जब उसके टाइमिंग्स उसको चाहिए थे, और उसी जमाने में आके उसने हमारे लिए sacrifice दिया. और only his ministry was for 3 years, and 3 years changed the whole structure of the pattern of the life of the humanity. Not even humanity, but the spiritual life. आपका जो spiritual realm है वो भी change हो गया है आज. आज आप जमीन के नीचे नहीं जाते. आज आप मरते हैं तो you go straight to heavens. God will by himself. वो जो पहला शहीद था, first martyr, what his name was? इधर से मुझे कोई बताए what his name was. जो पहला शहीद था, you know martyrs?
Saint Stephen.
Stephen. अच्छा, अब उसके बारे में क्या लिखा गया? कहता है कि I can see he's coming to receive me. He's there to receive my soul. इससे पहले किसने नहीं कहा कि मुझे जी बेटा? Paul, when he died, he said, I have run the perfect. मैंने अच्छी दौड़ दौड़ी है, right? और मैं बड़ा खुश हूँ. तो आज मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगा कि our time on this earth is very precious, एवरी डे जब हम उठते हैं तो हमें इसको गिफ्ट ऑफ लाइफ समझना चाहिए कि खुदा ने हमें दिया है, और एवरी मोमेंट इज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू लिव फॉर हिम। और दूसरा, हमें गॉड्स टाइमिंग पे ट्रस्ट करना सीखना चाहिए। सब चीजें वी ऑलवेज से कि हाँ जी, आई विल डू माई बेस्ट, आई विल गो अप देयर एंड आई विल डू दिस एंड दैट एंड यू नो, बट गॉड इज द वन whom we have to trust and give everything to him, that he can take care of us and take us towards his perfect timing. So today I want you to encourage you with the thoughts कि use your time wisely और trust God timing, क्योंकि खुदावन ने परफेक्ट टाइम में आके इस जमीन पर, उर्दू समझ आ रही है, खुदावन ने परफेक्ट टाइमिंग में आकर इस जमीन पर हमारे लिए अपनी जान दी, ताकि हम ना मरे बल्कि हमेशा की जिंदगी पाए, उसके साथ निजात पा सकें। खुदावन यीशु मसीह पैदाइश से पहले भी आ सकता था, खुदावन यीशु मसीह आज भी आ सकता था, खुदावन यीशु मसीह 5 साल बाद भी आ सकता था, लेकिन उसी टाइम में क्यों आया? किसी को कुछ पता? एग्जैक्टली, उस पर रोड्स थी, सारी चीजें थी, लेकिन एक और चीज थी। वो क्या था जो आज मैंने आपको बताया? एक और चीज थी, वो क्या थी? हाँ, God's perfect timing. That was the time for him to come and sacrifice himself for us, for our sins, so that we don't die and हम claim कर सकें उसकी हमेशा की जिंदगी को। Thank you very much for listening, and I'll now hand it over to Pastor Neil.